Well, good evening. God bless all you kind, wonderful people. Johnny B back at you. I'd like to give a special thank you to one of my newer followers, I think, Paul Edward King. He's been really nice to be liking my stuff. But not only that, he's been posting several of the originals of the songs I've been covering, and that's a really cool little thing. So I appreciate that, Paul. That's great. Back with the wind song theme, I want to do one that's has a cool story, even though it's only really cool to me. But it's a pretty doggone neat thing happened in my life anyway. Several years ago, for several years ago, I played every Friday night with my group at Miller's Grocery out in Rutherford County there, and we had a lot of fun doing it. And one particular Friday night, had finished really our playing. The restaurant was starting to close down and clean up, and we were packing up our stuff. And as we were doing so, I noticed way over there, standing down there by the kitchen door, was a older gentleman, just real slender, tall and straight as a stick, with a white cowboy hat on, and jeans and boots. And he kind of walked a little closer to us, but then I realized he was with another gentleman, and the other gentleman walked up to us, talking, telling me how much he liked our music and whatever. And he said, "I want you to meet my friend." And so he motioned to the other gentleman with the white cowboy hat, and he comes up and says, "This is Joe Babcock." And I said, "Nice to meet you, Mr. Babcock." And we were talking, and the other fellow says, "Tell him about you, Joe." And he said, "You tell him." And he said, so he turned to me and said, "Well, we were noticing you're doing a lot of Marty Robbins songs tonight." I said, "Oh, yeah." And he goes, "Well, Joe Babcock here used to tour with Marty and play with Marty, and was one of his backup singers. And he's on the original Devil Woman recording. And he wrote several songs that Marty recorded." I went, "Oh, my dear." I was now starstruck. And I said, "Joe, tell me something you wrote that Marty recorded." And he goes, "Oh, well, one old song I wrote I kind of liked. It was Dusty Winds, but you would have never heard of it." And I immediately launched into it. I knew the song extremely well. Well, that impressed him, that I knew Dusty Winds, because I had it on an album and I'd listened to it many times. And so then he kind of loosened up and said, "Yeah, I kind of enjoyed the way you do those Marty Robbins songs. Do you want to do some with me?" I went, "Oh, yeah." So we got the gear back out and guitars, and I did Devil Woman with him singing "Back Up to Me," the same guy who sang "Back Up to Marty Robbins. And he says, "Do you know all of El Paso?" I said, "I think so." He said, "Let's give her a whirl." And he had just kneeled down on one knee to get down to where the mics were, because we had them at chair level. We did all of El Paso, and now a group of folks had gathered around because something really magical was happening. So it's just a great memory I've got. So Dusty Winds by Joe Babcock. 90 days since the country's seen a drop of rain. 44 since the grass began to burn. Thirsty cattle are milling round the old creek bed. Dusty winds where the waters used to churn. Dusty winds, hear them blow. Dusty winds moaning low. Night and day on they go, those dusty winds. Not a cloud in the sky, but still the sun shines dim, but enough to turn the scenery dark and brown. Looking westward is a dust cloud looming high in the sky, shows the trail of 50 settlers leaving town. Dusty winds, hear them blow. Dusty winds moaning low. Night and day on they go, those dusty winds. Well, it's late in the evening in my cabin all alone. It's so lonesome when that wind comes howling through. And I think of all the settlers heading west out of town. Kinda wished I'd have left here with them too. Dusty winds, hear them blow. Dusty winds burning low. Night and day, on they go, those dusty winds. Amen, and God bless you.